Hi Doodle friends, I'm back with another free printable. I do this every month, so make sure you subscribe and give this a likes up. You could use this, just cut it up, put it in your bullet journal. You could pick one of these words and practice every day of the month with these June inspired words, or you could put tracing paper over it and practice with a small nibbed brush pen that works really well with these printables. Stick around if you want to see how I practiced one of these words in my bullet journal. So here is the free printable. I'm just going to show how you could just use some marker tracing paper and use a small nibbed brush pen to trace over these words. Yeah, this definitely helps, and once you do that, definitely do it like 10 to 15 times each word if you're new to calligraphy, and there's like different types of fonts on there, so you could practice different fonts. Now I'm going to show you about 6 different ways to letter. I'm going to do all different types of styles. This first one, I'm just using 2 paint markers, and I'm doing rosé, and I wanted to make it kind of like off-centered, if that makes sense. I wanted them to touch each other, and then I kind of are making them like shift over. The pink ones, I'm making it look like it's kind of shift over a little bit. So, and then I just fill it in with a different pink from a Crayola super tip, and then I use black for these little, I guess, watermarks, and I felt like that was perfect for the word rosé. Now all I have to do is add to the top to make it say rosé instead of rose. My next word is cat. By the way, I did all of these words for a reason. Tupac is on there. I think his birthday is in June, so all the words are on there pretty much for a reason. So I did cat in like the same thickness, and I went in with a Crayola super tip at the top, and I'm blending it with the original color going down. So you do feather-like strokes instead of just a solid line going across. That way it blends a little bit better. And now I'm just outlining with a micron size 08. And by the way, I used a Tombow dual brush pen for the lighter pink color. And now I'm going in with pencil because I'm making shadow lines, and I'm adding tick marks to kind of make it like a 3D shadow line, and I'm outlining it with a black micron size 08. And I just add some black lines to the bottom. Shadowing is kind of hard at first, but once you learn how to shadow, I always like to shadow my letters on the right side. It's really easy, but if you're a beginner, it is kind of hard at first, so I suggest looking at Pinterest and looking at the full alphabet with shadowed letters. I could make a tutorial on it as well, so let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that, or you could just go to my Instagram, scroll down a little bit, and find the full alphabet with the shadows on each letter. And once you learn it for each letter, it's fairly easy. For this pool one, I did a solid like light purple, and I was trying to keep it the same thickness because it is good to do that when you're doing this ribbon style lettering. And I actually kind of messed up on this because I meant to do the darker parts on the opposite side. So for this one, the darker parts appear to be the back of the letter, but I wanted the darker part to be the front of the letter, if that makes sense. So everything was supposed to be opposite, but I messed up, so I just went with it. And then I added some shadow lines to give it kind of this gradient effect, and just to help with the ribbon effect, make it seem like it's actually curling and twisting and creating these shadow lines. And then I added a white gel pen over it. I used a Jelly Roll size 10. Now we're on to Pride. I'm using a Tombow dual brush pen. I love Tombows because they have so many colors to choose from, and they work really well. And I did a calligraphy style, so some of the lines are thicker than the others, and I outlined it with this like light gray color, and then I outlined it again and it kind of made it look 3D, but I did use the same color, and then I outlined it with the other side of the Tombow dual brush pen, just the thin marker side, and then I went in with another gray in the corners and kind of made it have like a shadow effect, and so it looks really cool. I like how this one came out. With the P, I tried to start adding white over it, but the gel pen wasn't working well over that Tombow black, so I didn't end up doing that. Now we're on to King. I did a calligraphy font again with a Tombow dual brush pen in green, and then I actually made the lines the same thickness, and I'm outlining it with a micron size 08, and then I'm just going to make a shadow line that actually connects to the letters, but I'm doing it in pencil first, so I make sure I do it right, because I am making it more of a 3D style with the ticks, and I tend to mess up on those, so I like to do it in pencil first. And then I'm going in with a light gray, not on the whole thing, just on the bottoms of the bends to make it look like shadowy. Now we're on to summer. I wasn't sure what kind of doodles I wanted around it, so I was playing around with some like starburst and some shooting stars. So we'll see what I end up doing, but I'm definitely not going to use all of these that I did in pencil. I'm making it have like a rainbow color. I used all Crayola super tips, and I did a mono modern calligraphy style, and I'm going over it with a white jelly roll, but it doesn't show up well over the Crayola super tips. I do know that white shows up well over the Tombow small nibbed brush pen, so it does show up better for that. And then I ended up doing just 3 little starbursts, and I love how the doodles came out for this one. I am not excited for summer. I live in Florida, so it's like so hot. I can go to the beach pretty much any time of the year. Not really sometimes during winter, but definitely spring is the best for the beach. So it's just so hot in my house during summer. It doesn't get above 78 degrees no matter what. And for this June, I did a shadow line that is not connecting to the letters with a micron, and then on the right of the micron, I used a Tombow brush pen to go on the right side of the shadow line. For yoga, instead of using a different color each letter, I changed the color throughout each letter, so it's a little bit different than the June lettering style, and I used Crayola super tips. Speaking of yoga, I love yoga so much, but when I really think about it, I definitely don't do it enough. I do yoga maybe like once a month. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a reminder for me to do some yoga. To blend the colors, you just kind of go back and forth with the 2 different colors, or you could use a colorless blender, but I kind of prefer not to use it most of the time, so I just go back and forth between colors. And now I'm using a Tombow gray to make a shadow line across over the entire letter, so it's not just a shadow line, it's an outline. And then I forgot to put a monoline inside the Y, but I go back and do that later. Now I'm on to sushi. I made a shadow line that's not touching. I added some stars and dots, and there you have it. Here are all of the letters. I hope this gives you some inspiration. I had fun making this, so take a screenshot of this and try doing them for yourself, and let me know if this helped you in any way. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.